So today I would like to show everyone a few associations that I've created and I use memory associations to learn vocabulary more quickly. And for whoever doesn't know, I'm doing this challenge to learn 100 words a day of Mandarin Chinese and HSK 6 level, so it's the like high, intermediate, low, advanced level in Mandarin Chinese. So I'm not going to go into much detail on the process of creating the associations itself. I think I'm going to leave this topic for another video or even a series of videos because there's like I think there's a lot to it. So this video is just going to be really to just sort of show some of the associations that I've created, discuss them a little bit, maybe how they came to mind, and because I find that they can be so useful for really helping us learn languages and learn new vocabulary and solidifying the knowledge that we gain. And I'll also warn you guys that basically my my accent in Mandarin Chinese is still probably a bit funny. So I'm not going to focus too much on pronouncing these words perfectly. I guess I wouldn't even be able to pronounce them quite perfectly yet. But to my understanding, at least Chinese people that I've spoken with, they understand me most of the time. So usually I get the tones right. So if I pronounce it, so if you do speak Mandarin Chinese and you hear me and you think I sound funny, of course I still have a lot of work to do with my accent, and basically, but my focus will be just to show you guys the words, just to illustrate essentially how these memory associations work. So without further delay, okay, so and here I have like just these flashcards. I like to make basically where's my, I had like a little pile of them. It's like $1 for like 100 of them. And I like going old school, It's nice to use Anki or use Memrise or use apps and software, but sometimes I find it nice to go old school and just write down your vocab and memory associations on a pile of cue cards so I can carry them around, And as you're writing, I think as I write like actually physically with a pen, I personally feel like I learn more. So anyway, so without further ado, so I was trying to learn the word "qi po," which means daring or imposing, or an imposing manner. And I know that that's a bit of it's an abstract word, right? And I thought like, okay, well, like what does this remind me of? So "qi po," and this sounded to me like cheap. So, and I thought of, okay, well, maybe if I have some cheap powder, so "qi po," I can actually use and throw that cheap powder in my opponent's eyes, and that'd be a daring thing to do. Also kind of unfair in battle to throw cheap powder in your opponent's eyes, but like that's the association that I came up with. And so essentially I have the words cheap, powder that remind me of "qi po," and essentially that's linked to the meaning of the actual word in Mandarin, right? So that's how this memory association worked for me. Another somewhat interesting one, and by the way, at least for me, I find that, and for everyone, I guess, the more bizarre, the more ridiculous your memory association is, the better. Because if you come up with really ridiculous, funny memory associations, you will remember the words better. So I thought, the association that I just described is a little bit ridiculous, so it's easier to remember. The word "mo fan," which means model or example in Mandarin. And so "mo fan," what did I come up with? I thought, okay, well, the word model, I just imagined like an actual person, a model, although like I don't know even if this word can be used in this context, but it helps me remember it. I thought that, well, models on Instagram or on Facebook have more fans than other people, than the average person. So "more fun," they have more fans. So there we go. There's a strong association that can help me remember this word. So more fun, more fans, models have more fans. And another one, the word 事态 in Mandarin means situation, 事态. So I thought, okay, well, what does this remind me of? So again, the word, like the idea, the word situation, that's basically like an abstract concept, right? To make it more tangible, I thought of the Italian guy from Jersey Shore, The Situation, and whoever doesn't know him, you can search, Google him. So actually, he's a real individual who was in this show, Jersey Shore, from MTV. And I thought, okay, The Situation, he can eat shiitake mushrooms and Thai food. So shiitake and Thai food, 是Thai. And so that will help me remember the word situation in Mandarin. Let me find like a funny one. There's some associations too that like just jump into your lap, like jump on your lap. Like, for example, the word for trial in Mandarin is, I may pronounce this in a funny way, I hope, 审判, 审判. And basically it means trial. And I thought, well, when I first saw this word in Mandarin, I thought that reminds me of the word champagne in English or French, you know? So I thought, well, after people have a trial, right, with their lawyers or whatever, they win the trial and they have champagne. So champagne. So that's one association that just fell into my lap, onto my lap. I didn't have to think about it. It just popped in my head, which is nice. And sometimes it takes me actually a little while to come up with associations because they're not as obvious, or I don't know, they're just words that I can't come up with associations that quickly for. And then I just leave them, come back to them later, stare at the word a little bit more, then the association comes to me. But yeah, but I'll go more deeply into the process of coming up with associations in an effective way later in different videos. Now, another interesting one, for example, like the word for accomplishment is 修养. I may be botching the pronunciation. 修养, and that sounds to me like so young in English. So maybe I thought of like a very accomplished young individual, so young, you know, at a show perhaps, just so that I remember and when I use like two words that are similar just to reinforce the actual a part of the word that I'm trying to learn, for example, I'm using so young, so in order to represent the show in Chinese, but I'm also in my association using the word show. So a very young person at a show, so young at a show, just so that I reinforce the association and it becomes stronger in my head. And of course, the word show is also closer to the Mandarin sound, or to the sound in Mandarin. So, word for accomplishment, 修养, and or young. So the person so young, successful at a show, very accomplished. And so yeah, that's it. A list of just, I don't know, I think I read out maybe 5 associations, maybe. I think that these examples, however, may be useful to people, just because of the fact that I think that a lot of people really struggle learning new vocabulary in an effective way. And note that aside from having the associations done, I also review them with flashcards. And that way, you know, I can learn them even quicker, even more effectively. And that can really speed up the learning process. And so I hope that this was useful to you guys. And